guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel and welcome to the series of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Welcome to today's video on Bitcoin security and attacks. Security is a crucial aspect of any financial system and Bitcoin is no exception. In this video, we will discuss the various security measures implemented by the Bitcoin network to safeguard its users and their funds, as well as the types of attacks that Bitcoin has faced in the past and how they are dealt with. And in this module, we are going out of our way to bring some DC Universe characters to guide us further. So we have Superman, Batman, and our favorite Wonder Woman to join us. So let's get started. So let's start with part 1, security measures of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has implemented several security measures to ensure the protection of its users and their funds. These include 1. Public key cryptography. Bitcoin uses public key cryptography to secure transactions. Each user has a public key and a private key. Transactions are signed using the private key and verified using the public key. 2. Decentralization. Bitcoin is a decentralized network that is not controlled by any single entity, which means that there is no central point of failure. 3. Mining. Mining is the process of adding transactions to the blockchain. It is a competitive process where miners compete to solve a complex mathematical puzzle. This process ensures that the network is secure and that transactions are validated. 4. Multi-signature transactions. Multi-signature transactions require multiple signatures to authorize a transaction. This provides an additional layer of security and ensures that funds are not spent without the consent of all parties involved. So let's take dive into part 2, attacks on Bitcoin. Although Bitcoin is a secure network, it has faced several types of attacks in the past. Some of these include: first, 51% attack. A 51% attack occurs when a single entity controls 51% or more of the network's computing power. This entity can then potentially control the network and manipulate transactions. Next type of attack is double spending. Double spending is a type of attack where an individual spends the same Bitcoin twice by reversing the transaction before it is confirmed on the blockchain. Third type of attack is a Sybil attack. A Sybil attack occurs when an individual creates multiple fake identities to control the network. And the last type of attack is social engineering. Social engineering attacks involve tricking users into revealing their private keys or passwords. Now let's jump into third part of prevention and mitigation of attacks. The prevention and mitigation of attacks on the Bitcoin network has several measures which has been implemented, such as: the first security measure is increased mining difficulty. Mining difficulty is adjusted to ensure that the network is secure and that no single entity controls the majority of the computing power. Second security measure is confirmation time. Transactions are considered confirmed after a certain number of blocks have been added to the blockchain, which makes it more difficult for attackers to reverse transactions. Third type of security measure is through cold storage. Cold storage refers to storing bitcoins offline, which makes them less vulnerable to attacks. And the fourth type of security measure is through education. Education plays a crucial role in preventing social engineering attacks. Users should be educated on how to protect their private keys and passwords. In conclusion, Bitcoin has implemented several security measures to ensure that protection of its users and their funds. However, as with any financial system, it is not immune to attacks. By understanding the types of attack that Bitcoin has faced in the past and the measures implemented to prevent and mitigate them, users can take steps to protect their funds and contribute to the security of the network. Now, as we had an overview of Bitcoin security and attacks, let's take a deep dive into top 15 interview questions for Bitcoin security and attacks. Question number 1. What are some of the common security measures used to secure Bitcoin? Common security measures used to secure Bitcoin include two-factor authentication, multi-signature wallets, cold storage, and hardware wallets. Question number 2. What is a 51% attack in Bitcoin and how does it work? A 51% attack is when a single entity or group of entities control over the 50% of the total computation power on the Bitcoin network. This allows them to control the network and potentially double spend transactions or reverse previous blocks. Question number 3. What is a double spend attack in Bitcoin and how it can be prevented? A double spend attack is when a user tries to spend the same Bitcoin twice. This can be prevented by waiting for multiple confirmations on a transaction and using a reputable wallet provider. Question number 4. What is a dust attack in Bitcoin and how it can be prevented? A dust attack is when an attacker sends small amounts of Bitcoin to a large number of addresses in an attempt to track their spending habits. It can be prevented by consolidating small amounts of Bitcoin into larger transactions. Question number 5. What is a replay attack in Bitcoin and how it can be prevented? A replay attack is when a transaction on one network is copied and broadcast to another network. It can be prevented by using unique transaction signatures for each network. Question number 6. What is a Sybil attack in Bitcoin and how it can be prevented? A Sybil attack is when an attacker creates multiple fake identities to manipulate the network. It can be prevented by using proof-of-work consensus algorithm or reputation systems. Question number 7. What is a brute force attack in Bitcoin and how it can be prevented? A brute force attack in Bitcoin is when an attacker uses a trial and error method to guess a private key. It can be prevented by using strong unique passwords and multi-factor authentication. Question number 8. What is a denial of service attack in Bitcoin and how it can be prevented? A denial of service attack in Bitcoin is when an attacker floods the network with traffic in an attempt to overload and disrupt it. It can be prevented by using a distributed denial of service protection service. Question number 9. What is a side channel attack in Bitcoin and how it can be prevented? A side channel attack in Bitcoin is when an attacker uses information from outside the cryptographic system to gain access to the system. It can be prevented by using secure hardware and software implementations. Question number 10. What is a timestamp attack in Bitcoin and how it can be prevented? A timestamp attack in Bitcoin is when an attacker manipulates the timestamp of a transaction or block to gain an advantage. It can be prevented by using consensus algorithms that take into account the timing of transactions. Question number 11. What is the role of multi-signature transactions in Bitcoin security? Multi-signature transactions require multiple signatures from different parties before a transaction can be executed. This adds an extra layer of security to Bitcoin transactions. Question number 12. What is a hierarchical deterministic wallet in Bitcoin and how does it improve security? A hierarchical deterministic wallet is a type of wallet that uses a master seed to generate a tree of private keys. This improves security by allowing users to generate new private keys for each transaction. Question number 13. What is a multi-factor authentication and how does it enhance Bitcoin security? Multi-factor authentication requires users to provide more than one form of identification before accessing their Bitcoin accounts, such as a password and a fingerprint scan. This enhances security by making it more difficult for unauthorized users to access accounts. Question number 14. What is a hardware wallet and how does it enhance Bitcoin security? A hardware wallet is a physical device that stores Bitcoin private keys offline, making it more difficult for hackers to steal them. This enhances security by removing the risk of online attack. And here we are with the final question. Question number 15. How does encryption enhance Bitcoin security? Encryption is used to secure Bitcoin transactions by encoding information so that it can only be read by authorized parties. This enhances security by making it more difficult for unauthorized users to interpret or intercept and decipher information. And now we have a bonus question. Question number 16. How do Bitcoin developers and the community work to prevent security threats and attacks? Bitcoin developers and the community work to prevent security threats and attacks through ongoing research, testing, and development of new security protocols and technologies. This includes regular software update and bug fixes, as well as collaborative efforts to identify and prevent potential vulnerabilities. So that's it from Module 2.4, Bitcoin Security and Attacks. We should thank the Justice League team, Superman, Batman, and the Wonder Woman for guiding us in this particular module. So see you guys in the next one. Thank you.